A few years ago, Barbara Buck came into my life and changed my perspective completely. I'm so grateful to be able to share this video and this interview.
I've been a healer for about 21 years now. I do intuitive healing now, but I've done the whole gamut of healing. I started as a Reiki practitioner, and I just do intuitive healing now. And what I like to call multidimensional light body healing as well. So that's something that I started, I kind of created on my own just over the years. My main thing was to help other healers to start to be able to access their themselves in the way that I can access with my clients. Because if you can intuit in your own field, you can intuit it in other people's fields and start working with them too. So getting as many people out there who have full functioning access of all of their light body is a big deal to me. And then they start to teach other people, and they start to work with their clients, and it becomes this big snowball effect, which is, I think, imperative in these times. So the first layer of your energy field is literally just a lot of pieces of you frozen in time, whether it's from past lives or current life, ancestral, genetic trauma and things like that we inherit. All that kind of stuff is accessible on the first layer of your field. So when you can start to access that, you can start doing some really seriously deep work. Your energy gets condensed. It gets heavier and heavier and denser and denser and denser and denser until it's down into 3D. And then 2D and 1D are the densest parts of you. And getting to know all those aspects of yourself, not just the shadow aspects, but the higher aspects and the lighter aspects as well. And then bring that all into your current 3D experience. That's how I feel true healing happens. Most of our viewpoint is based on this third dimensional perspective. Third dimension is your physical self. It's little quantum particles vibrating at a specific frequency that creates this illusion of solidity right here. Okay, but really this is light. So working on your third dimensional self, it's also called your mental body. So this is where we gather data. Okay, so if your first layer of your field is basically like data storage, and the second layer of your field is kind of data relay between here and the first dimensional self, your third dimensional self it's like what you're doing is we're accessing information right now. We're bringing information in. We're having an experience right now in the now moment. So your third dimension is very much the mental body. It has a lot to do with what's going on up here. We're just, and it's there to gather data for this specific time space reference point that your higher self is currently taking a look at right now. If you're having problems in the third dimension, that's going to move into the fourth dimension, which is your astral body. And your astral body is the relationship layer of your field where you connect in with other people. We communicate with each other on the astral layer of our field. We communicate with other people. We communicate with non-humans. We communicate with all these wonderful light beings that come here, our spirit guides, all that kind of stuff. Everybody's hanging out in the astral realm, all of our loved ones. They have energy in the fourth layer. A lot of them still do. Your fifth dimensional aspect, which is the fifth layer of your energy field. It's this template structure that has your higher self's intentions for you. So all of the things that it wanted you to do or experience, the things that it wanted you to learn in this life, pertaining to this specific life. It's impossible to become authentic, like a truly authentic person, to have authentic, real, honest communication, relationships, and everything that we're doing if we aren't connected into our fifth dimensional blueprint, if we're not connected into what's triggering us and creating all the problems in our reality. Your fifth dimensional blueprint is, what am I doing here? And then your sixth dimensional self is, what are we doing here collectively together? What's our goal? What's our purpose? That's helpful for you to know too. And then when you get into like the seventh layer, that's like, we're part of a galactic community. So, what are we doing as a galactic community? So that information, again, also really helpful.
So like the information from this lifetime, where does it go?
Because everything's energy, right? So it doesn't go anywhere. It just gets assimilated into the broader you so that it has a greater understanding as it starts to find its way home back to the collective energy of the one, so to speak, that all of us came from. All of the layers connect in and communicate with each other for the most part, but we're completely blind to it. We don't see it, we don't hear it, none of that kind of stuff. And so part of becoming multidimensional is that you actually can start to experience yourself on all of these different layers. So you become a much more holistic representation of yourself. You become a more holistic person, basically, because you can see yourself from all these different angles. You can also start to see other people from all these different angles.
When you're working with someone, do you start by teaching them to access their higher self, or do you start by clearing out the stuff at the bottom so that they can access their higher self?
More often than not, we go to the first layer of the field and we start to look for any triggers and things like that. I do go and do a lot, help people through their shadow work. The first thing that I do is, because sometimes it's hard to see. So what happens, sometimes you need a healer to come in to help you to start to clear, kind of transmute as much as I can for them.
So it's not just working on this person, it's not just working on this lifetime, it's not just fixing one thing, it's all of it.
Once you start to connect in with yourself on a multidimensional level, you start working with all of your other aspects of yourself. You start to find all those little pieces of you that are frozen. And so when you have a block of energy that's not flowing, you get sick, because our body is our greatest ally, and our body tells us when there's something wrong that we are not addressing. That's what it does. That's what illness is. It's our body being our ally and saying, hey man, you got something you need to take a look at. Let's go try to find it. When we have a lot of trauma, when we have a lot of things that have happened to us in our current lifetime, we can't just say, oh, okay, well, I'm just going to let that go. We've got to heal those parts of us that are not flowing properly, because they're dead energy. We bring all of that energy with us, all of it. I'm not talking about karma here. I'm talking about frequency patterns. Emotions are bioelectric energy that the body is creating. They are a physical response to something. That's what they are. Emotions are a physical response to something and creates bioelectric energy in the body. When we don't allow an emotion to go to its full cycle completion, and then what happens is that energy starts to become condensed. It's not flowing anymore. It's not moving and spinning as organic light. It starts to dense down and become slower and more sluggish and all this kind of stuff, until eventually it gets slow and sluggish enough to where it moves into the first layer of the energy field as a piece of you that is frozen in time. And that block is going to shape the rest of your reality, meaning you now have a block of energy you don't have access to because it's frozen. You want to go in and you want to find those nuggets so that it can heal the problem here in the third dimension, as well as anywhere else maybe you're having issues. If you have a density, you have shadow, it's got a certain frequency pattern, but then when you transmute it and it becomes light frequency, but it's got light frequency with healed codes in it. That healed information is now yours. You've got it. You've created the codes.
And so you teach people how to do this for themselves.
Yeah, what I do, especially in the group mentoring, the whole point of it is now, instead of people having to come and spend, $1,500 on me for 12 weeks and do session after session after session to learn how to do this process like on their own, because I can tell you it's very effective, and it's very effective for everything. So I'm doing mentoring, so you can like literally pick, and I have like the first one is $333, and it's 6 2-hour sessions in a group where I basically kind of walk you through steps of how to connect in with yourself on this level, and then just start doing it yourself. Once you can see it from a bigger picture, then everything opens up for you. So it seems complex right now, but once you start to see yourself and have an experience of yourself in each layer, then it becomes so easy to you. You're like, you can't believe you never saw it that way before.
Yeah, and you can't go back. You
And
can't
then
go.
and then you can't. Well, you can certainly try. That's what wine is for.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Will I eventually learn everything that I want to learn and just be like, okay?
Yeah. That is what ascension is you're starting to call those pieces of you home, and those pieces of your past lives and everything, and also your other yous back home as well. So we're starting to have these experiences of integration, because integration is part of the ascension process.
Please visit Barbara's website. And thanks for meeting us here at 5th and Overland.